You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's Breaking Bad After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Breaking Bad After Show.
Like I said, I love the way the music kicks in like that. Well, hello everybody. Thank you for joining us. Bing is for doing, and we are doing another AfterBuzz TV After Show for Breaking Bad, the Season 5 finale called Gliding Over All. I'm your host, John Comerford. I'm joined in the studio by Keven Undergaro.
Yeah, I'm here trying to take Kristen Snyder's notes so I can take credit for her thoughts.
Okay. No! And sitting right next to Keven is Kristen Snyder.
Hi, guys. What's up?
And over here is our own Phil Svitek.
Hello, hello.
And engineering for us is our own Bengineer, Big Ben Bottomley.
Hello.
Okay, lots to cover today. Lots to cover. Overwhelming again. Building up to that great, last stuff when you and I don't want to get to that just now, but just building to that. And of course, in our special segment, we'll talk about catches of the week. But want to start off with how they dealt with Mike and how they brought Todd back, and had to deal with the aftermath of Mike. So that was interesting.
Watching last week's show, it seemed to me like that was. And I was obviously wrong in predicting this, but I thought that was the end of Walter White. I think as the sun came down, he's in front of the water, and Mike is the old gun that's dying out in the West, and there's a new sheriff in town. His name is Heisenberg. Mike outed him. Like, no, I know you. You're Walter White. You're just some stupid. You're just a chemistry teacher. You're just a chemistry teacher. Just because you shoot Jesse James, don't make you Jesse James. And as we've talked about off camera, is that you ever want to really get someone going, expose them for who they are. You expose them for who they really are. And most of those people, make it so you need to be taken out of the equation. Even just if it's just stop being friends with somebody. But when someone exposes you for who you are, it's the worst. You want to be around people that think you are X, Y, and Z. And in the previous scene, we see the other guy, the big drug lord, Declan Cowers, like, whoa, you killed Frame? Jeez, you're Heisenberg, and gives him the respect he wants. And so I'm saying to myself, we're never going to see, that was the last of Walter White. And as talking to more people, there's a consensus out there that felt that in that scene, he did actually feel badly that he killed Mike, and that he was human, and he was flawed and everything, not just his reaction, but also he felt a little bad. And anyway, what was interesting is we saw Walter White in this episode. I saw, I thought it was going to be all Heisenberg, and it wasn't. So it's just, again, credit to Vince Gilligan for continuing.
But we did see Heisenberg. That was the other thing that was interesting.
I said I predicted wrongly that we would never see Walter White again, John.
Right. I'm saying we saw both.
But I'm saying, but we've seen both. I thought that this is what we would never see Walter White, the chemistry teacher, again. I was convinced that from this moment to the moment he's at the Denny's, it was all Heisenberg now, and I was wrong. And that just shows, again, just a credit to Vince Gilligan. He's just keeps you on your toes.
I'm glad he's back. I mean, I was tense through every episode of this entire season, and now I'm just sad, and I feel like I need a therapist after everything I've been through this season.
I understand you're sad that he might actually get caught, right? That's what's very sad,
I have
right,
so many emotions going on right now.
You guys.
The whole episode, I was so excited. I waited so long to finally have the success, the spoils of war.
Well, here, speaking about Todd in that early scene, with Heisenberg, there's an apathy for whoever dies in his path. And I think Todd has a bigger apathy for that. And so that, I feel like, was a factor in eventually what Walt coming back to quote Walt.
Because she kind of showed him what callousness really is.
Yeah, you know, and seeing those uncles, and again, just Todd having that complete apathy for no matter what happens.
So
I'm down this path.
I don't agree with you, but I mean, I'd like to know more. Like maybe I'm wrong. Like I didn't see that the way Walt handled the uncles, like Heisenberg.
Yeah, I'd like that.
I think it was more the moment with Skyler. I don't want to get ahead because we'll get to it, but again, on a personal note, Phil, you weren't there for this part. I was just saying, how do we get Todd working at AfterBuzz? I think he's fantastic.
He is fantastic.
We waited a long time for this. Focus, no drug problems, no emotions, no old girlfriends, no shitbag friends. Yeah,
exactly.
He leaves everything else at home. I mean, I don't even know if he's got anything else going on besides this.
No guilt, no conscience, doesn't care. He knows it might have to be taken care of.
He's like a robot.
So
shoots children.
Shoots children.
Yeah, well, you know.
I haven't seen an emotion on Todd's face yet.
No.
Well, the only emotion or the only hint at emotion or his kind of goal that he ever gave was last episode when he said, "We'll talk about the money situation when I get this right."
And by the way, you know, in my catches of the week, Mike August took that as, I'm not worried about the money because I'm going to take all the money. I don't agree with that.
I don't think so.
I still think just wants to fit in and really wants to please. And, you know.
He's a simple kid.
Well, look, he grew up with all those uncles around him. He knows how to work that room.
Man, he's doing great things.
Exactly.
Great employee, Phil. Excellent.
He's terrific.
Got to get him over here in AfterBuzz.
Yeah. And you don't have to worry about any, blowback because he knows it might get to go. And so
it's interesting. We know what he's like with Jesse. It's the dysfunctional father and son.
Yeah.
We saw early on with Gale, it was actually the coworker that he always wanted, a contemporary who looked up to him. You know, just that one episode where they toasted together.
Yeah.
They
Gale was just so happy to be in his presence.
It was the two of them. It was just so nice, for that one brief moment. And now we see that he's got a really model student, which he had no model students, when he was teaching. You saw he was trying to teach, but
and here's a kid who seems to really want to learn.
Yeah. And, but, it's not enough.
No.
Right?
No, of course not. Never enough.
No.
But I did like the way Todd took care of business. I was going, wow, this is... So I was, believing the whole, wow, this is a good move for Heisenberg. Yes. And now he's got his, right-hand man.
Well, it's interesting that you guys say that ultimately Todd did want the Empire, or perhaps he did, because I'll get it. I just want to put that out there now, so that way when we get the predictions, I don't forget it.
Oh,
okay.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, we should go over that. Once again, there's the fly. It's like the thread on the. He's obsessing about other things.
Yeah. Like the thread on the hat.
Thread on the hat, and it's the fly, the tie back to the pest company.
And it's also,
I think that was a tie back to the entire episode where he's just dealing with a fly.
Oh, that's true.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so go further with that, Ben. What do you think the correlation is? Do you think that's it? It ends there, or is there more meaning to it?
I'm sure there's more meaning to it. I don't know what they, what they're hinting at, but
one of the most simple things is later on he talks about Jesse, like all the things we've been through, and it would have been really easy.
He was probably thinking about his relationship with Jesse and the good old days. As we see later, they reminisce.
Yeah,
but maybe he was thinking of that as
and it's also. I know this wasn't. Go ahead, Ben.
I don't know. Maybe he was thinking of Mike as just another pest he had to deal with.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But the way he was looking at the fly was exactly, for me, it was the same way he was looking at that painting. All this other stuff going on here, and he's just constantly focusing on
he's
the thread.
out to lunch.
No, what? Yeah. But no, I think, come on, you can do better than that. Why is it, John?
Why is he staring at that painting?
In the painting, in the thread, in the fly.
Well, obviously, there's something else needling him, and it could be the fact that this isn't enough. I mean, the whole idea that this is what he wants the Empire, he wants this, and there's something underneath, something that's not quite right, something that's bugging him. It's not there. It's not what I really want.
It's not filling the void.
It's not.
Well, what did him and Hank drink, right? It was whiskey?
I believe it looked like.
All right. Well, I mean, whiskey, the metaphor is like it sucks your soul. It leaves a hole in you. And so, like, no matter how much as Skyler later on says, how much is enough.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, there's just an empty pit that you cannot fill.
Good catch. Yeah. And then, so we see the similarities between their two characters, which we know. We've got good and evil. We have both these guys who are on a quest and a mission. Mm-hmm. And then that little wrinkle is, I'll have mine on the rocks.
Yeah, exactly.
Cold, icy. Yeah. Nope, I'll have mine straight.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
Especially after the day he had.
It was also interesting, even the fact that Walt when Todd comes in the office and says, "I dropped off the car."
Yeah.
He's not behind the desk.
Yes,
He's hunched over.
Exactly.
And he's in the kind of
Right.
weak position.
Right, and he didn't take the desk because Mike was usually behind there. So that was very interesting.
Right.
Yeah, not taking the position, even though he's quote earned it.
Well,
End quote.
this is Maria.
Yeah.
Maria Menounos was saying she felt that Walt was the most honest he's ever been last episode. That was her feeling, and she felt he did
with
feel
Mike?
bad. Just in general,
Oh, just in
everything.
general,
A lot of
okay.
the things, the moments he had,
Yeah.
was the most honest he's been that she's seen and that she can recall.
Uh-huh.
And I
think-
felt like there was residual effect from killing Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mike was the one who actually brought that out of him.
Right.
Because who else has stood up to him like that and called him out?
He did, but also I think there was also honesty. I still feel it was honesty with Jesse. It wasn't just to manipulate him
yeah.
and cook
Right.
it.
Yeah.
He meant it. You're going to go back to smoking weed, doing
Yeah.
drugs, and playing video games
Yeah.
where you could be the very best at something.
That's right.
But anyway.
What dad or coach hasn't said that to a student or son?
Right.
You know what I mean?
But it's great, though, because it shows that it's more with those two than just, I'm going to use you to make money.
Right. Well.
I just felt like Walter White was off somewhere else. When I said out to lunch, I just meant he was somewhere else during all this was going on. Like, he's not in it anymore. Like, a lot of times we saw him this episode and he wasn't so much
But I
in the
think that's to
conversation and
John's
making the
point.
decision.
I think that's to John's point. There's a big stack of money. What else do you, and it's
Yeah.
like, geez,
You
what
got
do
caught up in the chase of it.
I feel like he's finally standing on the outside, though, and looking in at everything. And I feel like he had yet to do that before this moment.
I know,
Well, because he was still struggling. Now it's...
Now he can relax. What do you do when you have it all, then? What do you do after that?
So what was the turn, do you think? I mean, I know we're completely off our topic, but
I mean, we'll get to it. No, we'll get to it.
No, well, it's like this. Back in the old days when you used to farm, your conflict was external, right? It was the external
Right.
world, the wind, the rain, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And then eventually, as things become easier, you get more into your head, and then the conflict is internal. And so for him, the conflict is internal. He's like, what the hell do I do? So now he's going through this existential crisis of what is my life about? What,
Yeah, what
has
is
it led to this point?
I have kids. I have,
Yeah.
what am I doing?
I know that's my point.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm asking. Is because in this episode, was it when Hank says it's better chasing marking trees than chasing monsters? Did he? Was that
I think it was it's probably did.
I would think it would be serious.
I think it
you
did
know.
probably the fly reminiscing about Jesse.
Yeah, and obviously Skyler.
And then Skyler put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, exactly.
And said,
Say,
what do
how much?
And again, we can probably talk about that later.
We will.
Right.
All right, so why don't we talk?
It's
now,
always
let's go-
good to have a junk dealer, you guys. I want to point that out. One of our close friends,
Yeah.
John, and feels too. His family had all the junk business, the metal business, where they could crush anything. So you could, and so
there was one near
Nice.
my house.
it's just really, really
Very handy. Very
Fans out there,
convenient. Yes,
if
exactly.
you know a junk dealer who has specifically either a metal shredder, even better, a metal crusher, you can really make some great things
You
happen.
make a lot of things go away.
Yeah. Yep.
We're encouraging only good behavior.
Of course.
Just saying.
All right.
Just saying.
While we do that, let's move on to Lydia because we brought her
They
back.
turned
into
the
this.
car into a
Yeah,
cube.
They turned it into a cube,
Which always means more with these guys.
Oh,
cube
yes.
4
Right. Well,
sides, and anyway, so it's interesting because we've been all about the threes. And
Yeah,
again,
and
I'm
those
gonna
cubes.
steal from Mike August, but he was mentioning how Channel 4, and I'll get into it later when we talk about the news report that was going on.
Exactly.
But it's interesting that anyway, reading that note and having in my notes, the car turns into a cube.
yes.
Cubes have 6 sides.
Yeah, but it were cubed and cubed root, I think is what he was going
Yes.
for. As in square root and cube
So
root.
Ben, you might be smarter than me, but sometimes I'm right.
Okay.
All right.
So Lydia comes back, and again, the last time we saw her in a diner was with Mike, and remember how she was with Mike, and how she was so careful with the waitress there too. She gets a
Right.
repeat of that. Don't you want to order something? So it looked like kind of an innocuous part, and he's saying no, I'm not interested in drinking and stuff like that, because he was just wanted to get down to business. But of course, we'll find out later what that's all about. He didn't order anything. But I thought it was really interesting that because the way he was taking the hat off and he was so careful to put his glasses back. I said as I'm watching it, he reminds me of Gus and how specific Gus was
Right.
with getting putting the gloves on or taking his glasses off. And
it goes back to what I said.
Yeah.
We're a lot alike, you and I.
Exactly, and he learned that, or at least it seems like he took that. So
He's
to speak,
perfected the routine. He's got everything down to a T at this
Well,
point.
and you remember where this comes from, you guys. He's a scientist.
Yeah.
What
Right.
scientists
He's
all
very
about control,
particular.
controlled experiments.
Yeah.
It's about control. It's not about chaos. Which, when he goes and meets with those murderers, they're all about it's going to be chaos, and it's like no, because he's all about control and the science.
And whenever he gets into chaos, he gets in trouble.
I'll give kudos to Maria. She called it that Lydia would end up being a great ally for him.
Sure. I've always thought that she would certainly help him. I still think she's going to be a problem for him because I think she's a loose cannon in a sense.
He clearly did too.
Can't control her.
He did what? No, that's
he
interesting.
clearly thought that she was going to be a problem too, which is why he had the ricin under his hat.
Exactly. Which is why I don't think he ordered anything.
Question. We see her in the by the end of it, and okay, I'm jumping in. I know we're going to talk about the montage. I just wonder if, I know you say she's going to be a problem. I still think that, yes, there'll all be problems, but Walt's the biggest problem for everyone else. That's what I'm still maintaining.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Like, they may be a little problem for him, but he's going to be a big problem for all of them.
I'm just saying, you can't, because as soon as she gets in the sights of somebody, DEA, anybody, the first thing she's going to do, oh, God, yeah.
She rolls.
It's the first thing she's going to do.
But he knows that, though.
Yeah, he does know that. But I just think that's,
He knows that. But I'm wondering, will anything romantic spark with them? Is this the woman he should have been with or should be with? And the reason I say that is because the handshake? Did you guys notice the handshake?
Yeah, that was very strange.
It wasn't a handshake where the hand would be, and I'm sorry, straight out.
Yeah.
It was
a little kind of
with the palm facing down.
Yeah.
And it was much more soft, supple.
It
looked slightly romantic.
But did you see what he did after
the hand pulled away, and it was just a close up of the hand, of his hand, and then it goes to what you're gonna say.
Well, he's just kind of
right, and again, we just see this once, you guys, and come up fast. But I ask everyone to watch it again, which we will the look on Walter's face after he does that kind of strange handshake, which I took as slightly romantic, but it might have just been weird. I don't know. But look at his face. Yeah, what his face was. It was it wasn't Heisenberg, and it might have been Walter White, but it was something. He was reacting to something.
The whole thing was just very strange for her to even say that, to say shake, and then the way she did it was weird.
Well, I don't take it. I don't take the shake as weird.
Why?
Because it's old business. Like there's a story.
But that kind of shake, Phil.
Not that kind of shake, but he's saying the notion of shaking.
Well, I'm saying I think it's weird because the way it was done was weird. I'm not, it's like, what, you're gonna shake on a drug deal? That I don't care if she's.
Well, she's a businesswoman. She's all corporate.
Right,
Couldn't
exactly.
you see that nerd geek like?
No, see, I think that I'm in my experience of that. It was like, that was just friggin' weird. The way she did it, how she did it, when she did it.
Well, we know she's a little weird. She's a little odd.
I know, but seems just. I don't have anything other than that. Didn't ring true to me.
I buy it because she's just.
What is she looking for? Because I thought she's doing something else going on there.
Here's what in terms of the handshake itself. Yes, it was awkward because I think she's an awkward person. I think she did it, or she asked for it, in the sense it's old business, right? You shake someone's hand. That's it.
I clearly understand what you mean.
You can't go back on that. You don't need a contract.
I've never seen her as old business.
I do know, but that's why I see her, John, as totally awkward outside of anything but business. I think that's why she gets the leadership awards. I think she's great. She's one of those nerds who's great in that world, and then she's awkward in other places. But it's just interesting, guys. She's a single mom.
Yeah,
and I don't know. This is a wide open play here for Walt. I mean, like, by the way, we've seen everything with him except this.
Yeah,
we haven't seen. Remember, he got a little inappropriate with the other teacher way back early on. Yeah. But we've never seen him have any. No. We haven't seen that yet. We've seen him do everything, but he hasn't been a stud yet. But he certainly has the money.
Sure.
And he's got the swagger.
But he's out now.
What's that?
But he's out.
Yeah, right. There's no getting out ever. Ever. Although, according to you, there is.
There are no clean getaways.
Oh.
According to Kristen, there are in real life.
Oh, is that right? You want to elaborate on that?
I'm not going to elaborate on that. But something I did like was when Walt said to her, he's like, Learn to take yes for an answer, Lydia. You can stop now.
Right,
Yeah,
stop.
she kept
Stop
selling
being a
even though he
crazy.
already- he bought
She
into
is
it.
missing that professional side. I mean, she's just like,
I mean,
she's
but
crazy.
again, he's ready for more iTunes hate mail on me. But I've just known a lot of women that have been successful I've done business with that just still have that woman side to them. Just like I know a lot of men have the bad men side to them, and they have their bad stereotypes that come out in meetings, pissing contests, being the alpha male, being bullies. I totally see a lot of John in Hollywood, how many successful female executives, and they're just, you know, same thing.
I want the background on her, though.
But it's interesting, though. So as good as a business person she is, she still sells him, even though he's already said yes, which tells me.
But again, that's just the neuroses. I've dealt with this with women in business. I've seen it. So I like Gilligan's style. And again, I see a lot of shit men do that I typically see men do over and over again. It's like, dude, you got the job. Shut up, you know. But I buy it with her, and that's again. I get, you know, whatever. Yeah. I just see it a lot. That's all.
Okay.
You've heard me say
I
it
don't
before.
see it as often, I guess.
I mean, I don't think.
Well, you're not in those meetings.
No,
you're more on
no,
the
no.
creative side. But in the business side, I see
and
it
the
all
stakes for
time.
her are so much higher. I mean, think about it. She knew that Mike's dead.
Yeah.
And so in her mind, think of like all the 800 things that are going through her mind, and to plug in our friend Adam Carolla, like listen to that guy's thinking in like a half a split second. So the shit that goes through her mind of like, is he gonna kill me? But then if like it's just insane, and she is an insane person.
Well, wait, what does Corolla have to do with anything? I'm missing that.
No, well, I brought him in because he just overanalyzes everything, and Lydia's the type of person that.
Okay, no, but to your point, Phil, she's overanalyzing everything, and you're right. Based on the fact that this guy killed Mike, who to her is the scariest person, the most amazing
And
assassin
she knows he
ever.
killed Gus, too.
And she's like, holy shit, I'm sitting with the guy. So absolutely, now that you said that, and that's why I love that we keep talking things through till we come to the realization or the conclusion in most cases. But yeah, she's totally entitled to be like a little bit off in the head because she's sitting with the guy that killed Frayne and Mike. And she said that. She's like, you know, and I know if you're here, right?
Yeah, which is great. I love her logic. It was wonderful. That part of
and the
it
fact
really-
she figured out, kudos to her.
I know, but that also goes to my point is that she's got ahead a rational thought to figure all that out, and then she's just and after he's already agreed to everything, she's still selling, and then does the weird handshake. That's why I just go, who is this woman?
Well, I think she can I think she can get away with all that, even if we don't buy that she's an erotic person, which I think she's an erotic person, and I've seen many like that. And that sometimes
what causes that?
But sometimes it's that very thing that helps people achieve.
That's
How
true.
many people like are off in the head, but they're just, you know, like suit Mark Zuckerberg or whatever. Like there's just many examples of that. But she gets a pass, just the fact that she's going to be shitting her effing pants to be sitting across from Walt when she knows who Walt's taken out.
But here's the thing: she already knew he took out Fring, so it's not like it's that big of a difference.
But then to take out Mike, like who Mike was all over everything. Mike was so scary.
Yeah,
Did she know that he took out Frayne?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, she may
did.
not know
Well, she said in the
specifically.
scene.
She said before Frayne was killed. She didn't say.
Right, she may not know.
You did.
She said, but then someone killed him. I
Yeah.
mean, it seemed
Well,
like maybe she knew, but
Well,
again,
I
the
took
other
that
guys
she
didn't know.
absolutely knew.
I took it
Declan
as
didn't
she
know.
didn't
A
say.
lot
I
of
took it. I
people-
didn't think she knew.
A lot of people didn't know that he did it.
Oh, well, okay.
Well, I mean, one of the things that she could have been looking for is a reaction from him.
By saying that?
Yeah. And the
Right.
the response he elicited, okay, that'll tell me yes or no.
Okay.
Well, she was smart enough to keep those names in her head though until
Yeah.
she knew that she would make use for something else. He
Except
could use
I
her.
think Walt's line was, "Look, if you don't give me those names, you're no use to me." I think that was a better
Right.
line.
Right.
So, oh yeah, good thought. Let me write those down.
But by the way, great business proposal.
Yeah.
We're definitely stepping up. I'm
Yeah.
so excited because I'm
Yeah.
tired of the riffraff and
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys in New Mexico.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready
There
for
you go.
international.
All right, well, let's be speaking to that. In order to
Yeah.
go to the next level, we have to take care of business.
Take care of a little business.
Tie up some loose ends, and that's when, of course, he calls in Todd. Gale, I think it's time for me to meet your uncle and his friends in prison. Or
I mean, and just like
that hotel scene was very interesting.
so
Just
seedy
and the way it was lit was so. I mean, you barely saw anybody.
I mean, very dark episode, the whole episode, you know.
Except
And-
when we got to the montages.
Which,
Right.
by the way, I like how you knew it was a weird part of town because every time no one was speaking, they brought up the sound effects, and it was like cops and people screaming.
Yeah,
And
some seedy hotel. And then, of course, we got to see the hotel afterwards. We see where they were.
Motel Hacienda with Hacienda only CIE lit up
Oh.
in the thing. And but you know, the ashtray full of cigarettes,
Yeah.
the pizza. I mean, it was
All the
just
prison tats all over him and everything.
Ricky
so-
Hitler brought his Nazi friends.
yeah. Ricky Hitler brought his white supremacists.
Thank you, Ben.
Which is interesting. Later on, she talks about Skyler says, "I'm spraying it for whitefish," which again, like
Silverfish.
Silverfish.
Yeah.
Was it silverfish?
Yeah, silverfish.
Yeah.
Why did I read whitefish? Oh, because I was thinking of something else. Sorry.
So-
But that the scene, they're like, it can't be done.
Yeah.
That to me was amazing.
That was great. I
Where
loved
once
it.
again he's
Yeah.
in control.
What about the painting? I didn't really get was it anything that anybody would recognize it or
Okay.
what was it? I didn't really.
Well, I
wasn't
didn't
paying attention.
recognize it, but again, it's a boat.
Yeah.
So last week was remember
talked
it was
about the-
marine.
yeah, yeah.
And by the way, guys, this whole episode, if you notice, was running water and
Yeah,
bodies
they
of
did
water
use a lot of that
everywhere,
And him
dripping
bathing
hoses,
in water.
bathing
We
in
saw
water.
2 shower scenes.
and also 2
And the
faucet
montage,
scenes
yeah, and
that
montages
backed
with-
each other up.
yeah.
And you know, John, can you speak to this? I remember hearing in old filmmaking classes that water, particularly running water, symbolizes life.
Life. Yeah, that's what it usually symbolizes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you
more often
do you
than
think
not.
that's what I mean, or is it the typical Vince Gilligan's one of the meanings?
Yeah, I would imagine that they were going for some multi-layered thing, but I think that the reason why it was there was that that would be the choice he would make at the end by getting out would be choosing life, because staying in is almost certain death. I'm guessing that's what they were
The
the metaphor. They were
and the
going.
guys in the boat. Did you see like the heads were kind of gone?
Yeah, their
like a
faces
little
you couldn't.
worn
They
off?
weren't yeah, they're a little obscured and stuff.
I kind of
know how
saw
those
it
work.
as, I mean, his showering, I felt like, was him trying to get rid of,
Cleanse.
cleanse everything that he's done and get out. And then for the boat scene, I felt like it was a man in a boat rowing away from what it looked to be a family waving goodbye.
Gotcha. Okay, probably. Is.
Interesting. There.
That's
So,
what I
yeah,
saw.
and I
Yeah,
forgot to pay
definitely he's
attention to
washing
that.
his hands. I mean, the
Yeah,
Pontius
all that
Pilate thing,
kind-
we always see that.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, it's just the many meanings. But what to me, what stuck out the most was the fact he was preoccupied with
Yeah.
it. And
Not caring about the details either.
and what did he say? And what did he say? He said, "I see these all the time."
Yeah, yeah. Do they have these in a warehouse somewhere? I mean, where do these come from? That's what he was saying.
And we can do
Which
it.
I thought was
We can do it, just not the way you want it.
yeah. Anyway, no.
Go ahead. What did he say?
Well, I
He's
don't
like,
remember the
it
exact
can
line,
be
but it
done
can
the
be
way
done
I
the
want
way I
it.
want
Maybe
it.
you're just the wrong man.
Yeah,
And they were talking about
always.
chaos and what
Always.
it's in science, chaos, control, right?
Exactly.
And when you're a scientist, it's all about
It's
the
very,
control.
and very precise.
Precise,
and absolutely.
precision.
The timing of it and everything like that.
And once again, man, he is fearless, and he's
Yeah.
Heisenberg, and you know he's with a real scary group.
Yeah.
And look how he handles
And
them.
not doesn't care a whit. And
Nope.
you figure it out.
I almost
Doesn't even know. Normally he would
I
like,
know.
and he'll
Said-
come up with a plan. He said no. He didn't even do that. He said no. Figure it out.
That's what I'm paying you for.
Exactly.
It almost. I know I've said this before. Almost makes me want to get cancer.
Shut
No, seriously,
Because
just
it
to be that.
focuses
You
you?
look how focused and fearless. Like it's amazing.
Just realize your own mortality. Then you don't need the cancer.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh wow. I guess I don't need the
Yeah,
cancer.
you don't.
All right.
Therapy after
Be cognizant
this.
of that.
And how great was the montage?
Oh my God! I mean, that was so. I mean, you know, it was reminiscent of Godfather, where they do these, well, you know, different
Right.
music, of course, but the way they do these great intercuts with the music. I mean, what was the first one? Was Nat King Cole and Start All Over Again? Mm-hmm. It was great.
And by the way, the way they stabbed
oh my
the
God!
lawyer.
Yeah.
And
Or-
you know,
yeah.
and with all the homemade tools, I mean, there's
Yeah, all
guys
the
who've
shivs.
taken like styrofoam cups
Yeah.
and twisted them enough to literally make them into stabbing instruments. But you can see it was those small things and those small kind of instruments that they make in jail.
Yeah.
And because they can't really get a deep cut,
Yeah, they have to.
they have to do the multiple.
ones.
Oh,
Yeah.
so many times.
I love how they actually did that. Like they made it authentic as usual.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't
That
really,
is pretty much what a
They didn't-
prison shiv attack looks like.
because we've seen so many.
I would know.
Yeah, they didn't really. They didn't paint this pretty. I mean, it was just nasty and went on for. I love the
And the-
watch was amazing with the 2 minute going on. Well, go ahead, Ben.
They set a dude on fire.
Yeah,
No, that was the guy. That was the one
guy who was
guy.
ready to go.
The one who was ready to spill it all in the beginning.
As they say back east, give,
Okay.
give him a guitar.
As gruesome
let him
and as
sing.
violent as it was an amazing montage. I mean,
I was going to say, as gruesome as violent was, it was also beautiful.
It was that's
because
the
we were
thing.
so happy
Right.
to see Waltz,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
get the power
as
back.
horrible
It
as
was
that was.
so
it was-
carefully constructed, just like a painting, though. I mean, reflecting back to that painting, the montage itself.
and the way it was shot with a mirror here, looking through the window there. I mean, it was just wonderfully, creative, and it was never boring. I mean, and there was a lot of killing to show.
A lot of killing.
So
and when he said it's done,
yeah,
he revealed that he was finally in the yellow shirt, which is like Gus.
Yeah. Oh,
which I
yellow
loved.
shirt with that nice watch on.
Yeah, it was the
second hand sweeping around there. Oh, that was nicely done.
He also wore yellow a lot in season 1.
Oh, did he?
And yeah, and he just looked like when he walked in as Heisenberg with those sunglasses, it reminded me of the first time we ever see him.
Oh,
I don't know, it just
first time we saw him as Heisenberg, Ben?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think you mean in the restaurant?
No,
the coffee shop?
Yeah, when he walked in.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the first time we ever saw Heisenberg.
Yeah, I agree.
With Tuco.
It's exactly because he had the sunglasses on.
Yeah,
yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Walter White was coming back.
Right, so he wasn't fully comfortable in the role, which I feel is great writing because ultimately where we end up, it makes sense that he was on that arc.
Wow. All right. Well, while we're talking about montages, let's talk about the other one because that happened shortly thereafter, which is just God. Now that was even prettier.
Oh
yeah, so we got to see because
the final cook. I mean, by the way,
final cook.
The cooking montages are just
always been
fantastic.
Amazing. Just been amazing. And I'm going. I'm wondering if the writer's going, oh no, another montage of a cook, or are they going, oh, this is great, let's do something totally different.
They love it. I'm sure they love it. I mean, for me, I wish, Crystal Blue Persuasion.
Great tune.
It's a great tune. But I liked the Monkees last week, the week before,
true.
and I wished it was more of an upbeat song because I was, again, I'm in the minority, but I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm watching all the money. I've been waiting 5 seasons for this to see all the money come in.
It's bittersweet, though.
Well, at the end it is, but during it was.
You were really happy seeing all that money.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Oh, and Todd, and where everything's functioning properly.
Exactly, it's like clockwork.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's like German precision, magical.
And it was great that I've been wondering the whole time, like we've moved rather slowly. By the way, it's very entertaining, not slow in a bad way. But now that's
in terms of chronology.
Yes, but we well, even activity. It was like
okay.
But now we jumped
3 months
in a montage, you guys.
Yeah.
We jumped from having say $100,000 or $200,000 to having
whatever that is.
Whatever
Stacks.
many
Stacks. And uncountable amounts.
And a deal not only with the guy here in the United States, but then in Czech Republic where they like their meth.
Yeah, they love their meth. I want to go to the Czech Republic and
by
say,
the way,
how are they receiving this new blue meth?
I'm so glad that they didn't go with Russians,
right?
Because with the fall of the Soviet Union,
but that's inaccurate.
What's that?
It's inaccurate.
What's inaccurate?
In Russia would have been inaccurate.
No. Let me reiterate. I'm saying with the Russians to handle the business end.
Oh,
because the Russian mafia right now, that's the mafia. Yeah. When Soviet Union fell and there were no more laws. The true Russians, the ones who went into Germany and, as I found out, raped 9 out of 10 of the women in Munich, Germany, when they won the war. That's who the masks all fell off. Like, we don't have any laws anymore. Their mafia is incredibly powerful. And I think the lazy thing to do is have this Czech Republic thing or have Madrigal be through Russian billionaires or Russian mafia. I love the idea of going through Germany because they're much more precise. They're much more like Walter and Gus.
Yeah.
They're clean, they're neat, they're organized, they're focused, and that's why their economy is the only thing that's thriving right now in Europe. But anyway, that's
well, to your point, John, just going back real fast, you said the writers they must get nervous every time this comes in that they have I think it's more the filmmakers. I mean, this takes a lot of damn time, especially with that kind of precision. Like,
well, I know, but
you're shooting less than half a second, and setup time could be 8 hours.
That's
and you're like,
true.
God,
but
why do we
we've
have to
heard
do
time
this?
and time again that it's always on the page. So I was thinking that the writers write it first, and then the filmmakers had to figure out how to do it. That's what I was thinking.
Well, you had Michelle McLaren direct this one, so I mean, she's
that's right.
She's proven herself. So
That's
I think she went from the writers' room to this.
You don't think it went to hit the page?
I think it hit the page, but I think she was probably in those.
Was probably already thinking it as it was written.
Yeah, because she was in those meetings.
Yeah.
So,
but and talking about pretty, it was just pretty. That one was pretty.
Right.
Yeah. It was just very well.
I mean,
shot.
to be honest, guys, I gush every week about the show. I haven't seen one that hasn't been. I haven't seen one episode that hasn't been beautifully shot. This one it was just like the cinematography was dark, you know, it was really dark. It was very, very dark. And when we get to Hank, we'll talk about it, but I was like, wow, it was dark in both the White House and
this had to have a different purpose too. You know what I mean? It had multiple purposes. Like you said, it spanned, I don't know if it's exactly 3 months, but they said, you know, it's been 3 months. Yeah. We don't know exactly from that date, so it could be 2.5, whatever. But, you know, first off, the starting point of Walt, you know, coming down, coming back up, and then
great edit. Yeah, let's talk
Seamless
about that. But being more specific, Phil, it was
when he was sitting on the couch and he was talking to Hank, and he bends over to put his drink down.
Well, before that, he's like, I like camping too, or whatever, something along those lines.
Like the whole marking of trees thing, being outdoors in the woods.
Yeah, and for a minute I thought they'd actually reminisce on that, but it was like, nope, I care less about camping. Let's go to work.
But I think that says a lot, which I'll talk about later when we talk about Walt. They talking about camping and all the insects.
We'll talk. Are we going to talk about Hank and Walter's summit?
We can talk about it right now because this is exactly where it happened. So go ahead.
Well, okay, one thing I noticed is if you've noticed in the former episodes previous episodes with Hank and Marie in their house, it's bright, it's neat, the purples are all coming out. Yeah. Take a good look when you watch this again. It is dark, the light is sucked out of that place. And we see a news report, and again, this is from
Mike August.
From Mike August, and well, I'll have to unlock my BlackBerry. Okay. But he was mentioning how it was Channel 4, and he Let's see. What do you got here for me?
This is after, by the way. This is after Hank gets when he's in the office with the kids, and Gomi comes in to give him the bad news of what happened in the jail cell.
and Ben and I were thinking it's 9/11 and Bush.
I thought that as well. Yeah,
Bush finding out about 9/11 while he's reading to the kids, and in comes Gomi to tell him. And you just see the reaction.
And so then he's on his way home, and so
Mike August said Walt watches Channel 4 News again. The number 4 is a symbol of death in Chinese, and Marie said we can order Chinese. It's like I thought that was interesting, which I think is interesting.
Well,
and, you know, again, but he starts talking about his job, tagging trees,
reminiscing again. You know, kind of like the parallel was when Jesse and Walt were reminiscing about good days. Remember that?
Yeah,
that's the good old days.
You know, Walt says, sounds nice being out in the woods all day, and there's a lot of insects in this episode, and he said, I used to go camping. I feel like that's where he might just end up, out in the woods.
Out in the woods. You mean when all this is said and done?
I mean, there was so much foreshadowing about it. Yeah.
Well, I took being in the woods all day as, for at least for Hank, he's lost.
Yeah, that's
he's in the woods. He doesn't know who the hell's doing this.
Exactly.
What forces it? I'm lost. I'm in the woods. He mentions mosquitoes, and of course, you're out there with the mosquitoes.
He's marking a trail, so he needs to find. I mean, that's the part where I went right to that. Is that he's lost. He hasn't figured this out.
You know, with the orange
who did all this, all that other stuff. Orange marks, which me kind of was going, okay, that's the orange jumpsuit. That's what I went back to it with the guys in prison.
And he said, geez, I'd rather be tagging trees than chasing monsters.
Yep.
You know.
So do you think any of that sunk in to Walter? I mean, is that... I just thought it wasn't really sinking on a conscious level, but I think, okay, it was that coupled with what Skyler... I think that's where it was starting to sink in, because I don't think in his mind he's ever even considered it. That he's really the monster. He says he's the danger, but he's not the monster. No. And he was playing with his Holly just before all this. I mean, while all this was happening, right after that, Holly, he's got the baby. He's just being...
and I think he planted himself there so he could be there when Hank got home.
Just to see what...
his reaction.
Interesting. Yeah, because he could have been anyway.
And to the point of, that edit, it also just goes to show, again, he's always been sitting right in front of Hank.
Yeah.
And, so that's the other side of
and
Walt.
Hank hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
Hank's never seen it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right there, right in front of you. Yeah.
But you had a good point about Lydia, or that pickup of Skyler to...
Both in blue shirts, right? That's the meth.
The
and the red cups, and we know the red is always scary stuff, but the fact that they both are wearing it and the cut... to me, I don't know. I'm just wondering, are we going to go down that road where there's going to be a romantic interest
between
with
Walt
Lydia?
And Lydia?
That's the only thing we haven't seen Walt do.
That's true.
And as we know, every gangster, every pimp, I don't care if you're Michael Corleone or Scarface, you have the hottie on the side.
Sure.
You know?
I don't see it happening.
Nothing.
Well, I mean, I absolutely think it's possible because of the way, you know, the rift that's between Walt and Skyler.
I don't know if there is anymore.
I think there always will be.
Yeah, I don't
mean,
think she's
a little bit.
She didn't say I want our family back. She said I want my kids, not even our kids. I want my kids
life.
back. My life. She said nothing about us or we or our.
No.
I think she's getting better.
So, but I don't think she has any. She just wants out of it. I don't think she has any desire to be with Walt.
I think, and I do. I think there's always going to be friction.
Yeah.
Between them.
Well, how could there not?
You know where there was some friction, you guys?
Uh-oh. What's that?
There was a little bit of friction on iTunes.
Really? Why is that?
Well, as we know, we ask you every week to rate and comment on our shows.
And we appreciate it when you do.
So do, and we please ask you guys, please, especially with this is our last show, our last hurrah, if you could just go to itunes.com/AfterBuzz TV, and then what, Phil? You search for Breaking Bad at that point on our roster of shows?
Yeah, it's the artist page, yeah. Or if that's too hard, go to the AfterBuzzTV.com page and click Breaking Bad. That'll take you directly.
Takes you right there. Okay,
Yeah.
and then you have a chance to rate and comment us. And we love your ratings and we love your comments. And no, someone was mad because I was calling out the other podcast because they get a 3, 4, 5 days to look at this stuff and they have the luxury of seeing what other people's opinions are. And I just say that I didn't call it any specifically. I don't know of any specific. It was more calling out our fans for criticizing us than it was calling out those other podcasts. I think they're great. Right. We support other podcasts here all the time because we just all want, even Adam Carolla, we all want this medium to grow.
Right.
And it's only going to grow by other people doing those podcasts and getting their stuff out there and getting listeners and getting people at home to be comfortable with accepting content in this way off of your computer or your iTouch or your iPhone, whatever. So that wasn't our intention. And then the little dig was, we don't get down on you for making fun of Maria having friends like Lydia. So anyway, so that I just want to explain that. And then, but yeah, if you could please just continue to rate and comment like that. It's fine.
Keep us in line. Go ahead.
And please just tell a friend, and especially with our show, because our show, we get great numbers on this show. It's in the hundreds of thousands, and we so appreciate it. And we will be going away, unfortunately, which is just such a tragedy for us. I mean, most of us will be back for Boardwalk Empire. That's our next fix. But please tell friends about this who just get into Breaking Bad. I mean, we have a lot of people out there that are on season 2 or season 3. I mean, because this show is just so explosive and just growing. Still growing, and for those people, mention to them about AfterBuzz, and they can tune into our, AfterBuzz shows on iTunes, and anyway, but just keep spreading the word, and that's it.
Now, I just wanted to go back real quick to just the Hank. I thought that was the way that they told Hank's little arc this particular episode was really good. But they start him out in the office with the kids, and he's so excited to be the top ASAC or whatever his title is. And then he gets the info. Well, actually, no. He's at the beginning of it. We see him in the prison, trying to get so and so wants to give information. And Hank says, "Screw you! I got 8 other guys that can do it for me, so I don't need you, and I'm just going to go fishing." Which again, back to the water issue. But what I liked about it is from a guy who said, "I don't need anybody," and then he gets all of them are gone, and now he's thinking of quitting. I mean, Hank's like he's ready to get out. He's ready to get. He's almost thinking of retiring because
Again, the parallels between the two, in this game of chess, these two guys, and so you've got both of them in very dark environments.
Right.
Like the Walter house is still dark.
Still dark.
We
saw it a lot right before the killing spree happened.
So it didn't brighten up.
Yeah,
and this came from Steve the Steamer, one of our AfterBuzz hosts here, and he said early in the episode, Hank was just like Walt, letting his ego get in the way of himself when he turned down Dennis's offer. It was a buyer's market, but how could he not realize that the powers that be would know that the lawyer was caught and then try to cut their losses, take all the people in jail? Yeah. It was a pretty logical move, but at the same time, a little bit of that arrogance.
Yeah,
he had it right in the palm of his hand. Give the guy the time off. Right. You can bust the other 8 guys. They make those deals all the time.
Absolutely.
It was that hubris that we
that
have seen with the 2 of them.
Exactly. But who would have thought anybody could orchestrate that many killings within 2 minutes?
But true. But at the same time, maybe he should have been thinking, should I underestimate
I got a bird in the hand, just take
angle,
it.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to dick her over a couple of years.
Because again, if he had thought about it for half a second, who would have thought that somebody used a huge car magnet?
I mean, everything. All
the stuff that they had done. I mean, remember how far they've gone to cover their tracks. So
This show is amazing at problem solving. They get an A++.
You know,
That's why I'm here.
One of the things too is when Skyler goes over to visit them and she has to talk with Marie. Me and Kristen gasped when we saw Holly in the playpen with the red.
Yeah, we bought. Well, I did too. We
we were like, oh my goodness,
I always get super tense whenever she's on screen.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know we're jumping ahead, but even in that last scene where Flynn is driving the kid around the pool, I'm just going, oh my god!
And then the red wagon, and he's got a red shirt under his shirt, and we're like, oh my
saw
god!
The little bug skirting across. Yeah, give her the sunscreen.
The bigger thing for predictions will be: was that simply a foreshadowing? Something bad was about to happen there with Hank, or is it something that's going to happen with those two kids? Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. The other thing that I noticed, even with Hank saying take the kids back, is him giving up. Yeah, because he said, "I'm never giving you back," and blah blah. He was like,
and Marie said the same thing, and now they're saying it's time to go back. So yeah, and I just the way that Hank was, I mean, he just looked so beaten in that
tired.
scene.
He was limping a lot.
Yeah. You saw you saw the pain more. You saw it weighing on him more. And then we'll get to that later. So, but I just want to talk about that thing. Oh, okay. So one thing we haven't really talked about is that pile of money. Were you just happy, Kevin?
Just how awesome, yeah. No, okay, I was happy, but I also was scared because
guess what it was on?
It was on a red rug.
Yeah.
But I was more frightened from a business standpoint. It's like, why do you have all that money in one place?
Exactly.
I mean, poor Mike. Twice the DA pilfered his money, and how many times do we hear about in mafia stories where these guys die broke? Like the mob gets it. I knew a story of a guy that had a lot of that money. It all was confiscated, and had tucked away $1 million and buried it. And when he went back, he got out of jail like it was all disintegrated. Yeah, because he buried it. He didn't bury it properly.
Exactly.
But you hear about this all the time. It's like that's the only thing that freaked me out. Like, why is it in one place?
Well, and it's like, and I was going, why would you do that? And then I thought, well, where would you put it?
I get it. I get that she's limited in what she can do.
But I thought, what an interesting solution to put in a storage shed.
But isn't it kind of sad that everything he's worked for, everything we've seen him go through, can fit in a little storage shed like that?
Well, when it's that,
when it's money, yeah, but it's just like. It's just kind of sad when you stand back.
Well, maybe that's
how
he felt because she said, "How much is enough? How big does this pile have to get?" He seemed a little. Well, he seemed a little sad in that room. I wouldn't have felt sad. I didn't feel sad when I saw it. I was going, right on.
Yeah.
Did you feel it like that, Ben?
Oh yeah. I was like, that is more than you will ever need.
Yeah.
Ever.
More than
That can send your kids to college like as many times as they want.
Yeah,
I don't know. It just wasn't a very glorious.
And I love the way they were showing the parallels with the table and the stacks of money. And we talked some montage already, but that going from those tables and all those bags and then going to that was just such a great. I mean, the way she was saying like, what are we gonna do with it? I mean, I thought that was a very powerful scene.
Yeah, the fact that she just couldn't count it. Yeah, couldn't get a number, not even an estimate. I was like.
I've tried weighing it.
That is a lot.
By the way,
money.
Grams, which is drugs.
Right,
It was.
So I mean.
By the way, we estimating how much? Would you guys? How much you think?
I have not. I really.
Are we in the 100 million mark?
Billions with a B.
No,
that's what
that was a joke.
But
that's just a reference.
Because that's what Walt said. So, but yeah, I'm sure that's what he wants. But I don't know. No, I don't think it was in the hundreds of millions. I think tens of million. It seems. I mean, who knows?
Probably around there.
Did you guys, let's talk about the difference in Jesse.
Oh, wow.
With Mr. White.
Wow.
Think about how
he's afraid.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well,
that's my
totally
point.
Scared,
but think of the, once again, the difference between that Jesse and the Jessies we've seen in the past. Like last year, he beat up Walter. He put a gun in his face. He was just... all over him, and he was effing scared.
Yeah, and then did anybody else think about or feel or figure out that when he saw who was at the door, what he went away to get? Did anybody?
I knew. He went
to get his piece.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how I knew it was Walter White.
He was like, he's killed everybody. Is he coming to kill me? But I got him in the minority. Kind of happy.
I'm the danger at the door.
Yep.
So
and there he was.
There he was. But he certainly wasn't the danger.
But he is in a bigger way.
Oh yeah, clearly.
He's still the danger at the
course,
door.
yeah,
Just
but it's
anytime
just-
he comes around.
Yeah, exactly. Because
You know.
yeah, well, it was very again reminiscing.
I like seeing Jesse humbled
Yeah,
because I didn't like when he abused Mr. White last year.
well,
I don't care if he had a reason or not. It's my guy.
that's right.
It's
You
so
liked
bad
him.
for Jesse. It's just
I know.
so heartbreaking. This relationship I've never seen on screen before,
Mm-hmm.
where it's so unusual. This kind of relationship,
is.
and it's so heartbreaking.
Yep.
And both of them are two different people from where they started, and I'm just depressed over it.
But they are different. But I could see the genuine affection between
Sure.
the two of them, and
Yeah,
that's
in
what
that
made
scene.
that was
when they
just
were
nice.
reminiscing
Yeah,
Yeah,
about
Walt
the RV.
Saul took care of the house. Like he
Right.
he paid off the house for him,
Yeah.
and then he leaves him with the bags of
Bags of
money.
money.
And it was we all laughed when he tries to hide the bong
yeah, of course.
because he's like, no, Mr. White predicted exactly
Yeah.
what I would do.
But
And-
the thing that I'm angry about is wouldn't you for Jesse, wouldn't you triple try to go against that? You know what I mean?
hide it before he opens the door.
No, not even
No,
not even that.
Not
Just
smoke the weed, not do
Oh,
the
I
video
see.
just
games.
not
Yeah.
go to that lifestyle in general.
I'll show you.
Well, yeah, but once an addict.
Right, and I think with a lot of addicts, that's why I'm always not. Here we go. I'm always not so sure about addiction. A lot of times I see people who
Address
are
all your
extreme
letters to
to me. I think people are extreme. And
Yeah.
this is crazy,
The
but like
compulsion.
Malcolm X was like he was a robber and he did drugs and he was drinking and then he flipped the switch
Right.
and then went to the other extreme,
Yeah.
which was completely pure, didn't cheat on the wife, and I just think
They
that
replace one compulsion for another
and so
or obsession.
I buy it. It's like you could be the
Yeah.
best at this. And how many times do we know this with addicts? You hear people, but
Yeah.
he's so smart, but he's so good at this. But I just watching the Todd I mentioned last week, but the Todd Marinovich
Yeah,
special, and they flip that switch, and if they flip the switch the right way,
Look out.
it can be amazing. But I think it was great that he was back on it
Yeah.
because I like the idea that Walter
it shows
had
the
his number.
and it also shows the influence that Mr. White had on his life.
Right.
He gave him structure. He gave him something to do. I mean, all those things. And when he's left to his own devices, how many times have you seen that one?
Which is what makes the show interesting,
Mm-hmm.
that it's gray. It's not so black and white.
Yeah.
And Jesse clearly learned so much from his interactions with Walter White as he started naming off the things that
Yeah.
he would do, the strategies that he learned to make things work.
And he learned enough to go get a piece before he answered the door.
Right.
Well, that reminded me of Walter White bringing the rice in and almost killing Lydia. Like Jesse brought the gun almost.
Oh, good
thinking
parallel.
Of
Yeah,
pulling it
that's-
on Walter
That's
White.
what I remembered.
Well,
Yeah,
then
but
say
everyone-
something, Ben.
But here's the
Everyone's
thing.
against everybody.
But here's the
I've
thing.
been trying. I've
But
been
the only
waiting
difference
over
for
here.
me was that Walter was planning on killing her. Jesse was more of it as a defensive
Right.
thing, I think.
Yeah, but
That's a
I
good
mean,
point.
there's still just that lack of trust in
Yeah.
general.
Yeah, you can't. Well, certainly no one can trust Walt now. 'Cause,
It was just so great there talking about the RV
yeah,
and
how much fun they had.
why didn't we
It-
just buy?
Yeah, why don't we just? Yeah.
I don't know. It was great.
It was. It was like
Can
you,
you-
that's the relationship they've always wanted. Is this that without the craziness of the drugs and they just it would have been fun to be there.
All right.
Those guys.
Now here's where you guys have to help me.
Okay.
This is Ben, John, and Phil. One of you guys has to know. Talk to me about inertia.
About inertia,
Yes.
body at rest stays at rest. Body in motion stays in motion.
Yep.
It's Newton's law.
And so how does it relate to? Because they kept mentioning it in their conversation.
In
So
the
inertia-
that
Maybe the RV was in motion. Why disrupt it? It's just gonna keep going. I don't know.
well,
Is it
I
because
was-
Jesse's
I've been
at
thinking
re-
about this too.
Is it
I've been
because
trying to
Jesse's at rest right now?
well, yeah.
you know?
Well, that's a great parallel because again, once he's on, the train doesn't stop.
The train doesn't stop.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's that
Gotcha.
thing.
Gotcha.
And
That's it.
with Walt being there as a driving force for Jesse, now you can obviously we'll argue whether it was a good force or not, but he's moving, and
Right.
without that driving force, everybody wants to go back to the equilibrium, so they fall back to old patterns, which is why Walt knew. Look, if you don't, you're going to end up being this way because that's who you are.
And am I reaching here when you mention equilibrium? And I'm thinking of still water and running
Yeah,
water.
sure.
And we're seeing that out
And
throughout
it was
the
also a
episode.
science thing too. I mean, the equilibrium and all that other stuff. So that's where I took it, the inertia of it.
Boy, this guy who writes this is kind of smart.
This show is the only show that can make me actually terrified to see what's in the bag.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
I mean, I knew it was going to be money. I just knew it was, but I was like, oh, Jesus, it was so tense when Jesse was going to open that bag.
Right.
Okay, I've got a strong opinion why he threw the gun away, but I'd like to hear why you guys.
Okay, but I was
reaction.
the same thing. I knew money was in the bag, and I'm going, oh, it's a bag of money. But then the way that Jesse was, going, I was like, oh man, what else is in the bag?
Yeah.
Really?
I
I
thought.
was like, is Walt suffering from dementia
I
and
don't
put like
know.
a piece of Mike in the bag?
Yeah.
Well,
what I
not
thought.
even dementia, just a warning. It
Yeah,
could have very
could've-
well been
yeah.
like, and I
Here's your money,
actually,
here's-
here's your big tough friend.
That's right.
Here's your big tough friend
Yeah.
that scared everyone. Guess what? I killed him.
Yeah.
So you know what? Don't F up with me or I'll kill you too. But it wasn't that.
Okay.
I guess, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
nothing
it
wrong.
wasn't that at all.
So
Could have been, but it wasn't.
I felt like he tossed the gun away.
Right.
Because I think he said to himself, how could I think that this guy was going to kill me? And how could I
Wow.
think
Okay.
I think that's why he kicked the gun away. He was
Okay.
like, I was going to kill him, and look he brought me all the money, and he was a man of his
That's kinda
word,
how I
and
took it.
and we were close, and that's what I think. I think they have this great dysfunctional father and son
Could've been.
relationship.
I
I
didn't take
agree.
it there. I went to relief. I'm so glad I didn't have to do this.
I don't know. I mean,
That's where I went with it.
earlier in the season, he breaks down when he realizes he almost killed him in season 4.
Right.
When they find the rice and
Right.
or the fake rice in
Sure.
his Roomba.
I almost killed
That's
you.
what I remembered.
Yeah, because he did break down, and I almost killed you. And Walt said, "No, don't think about it," and all that kind of stuff. But see, now I think at this point he knew he needed that to protect. Why wouldn't Because why wouldn't you think that Walt could kill me? He killed Mike, and he killed all those people.
Yeah, but I
killed-
mean, he's never had the same relationship with Mike as he has.
True,
with-
he hasn't, but he's never did
But the
what he
fact
did.
he-
The way he shut.
But he paid for the house, and he brought
Yeah.
the money when he didn't have to.
No, that's true. That's
That's
true.
what-
But
that's
also the
what's
way
impressive.
the last thing he said to him when he kicked him out, you get nothing. The way he closes
Father
the
and
door
son,
on him,
father and
all
son.
that other stuff. So
Father and
so
son.
I didn't. Anyway, I didn't.
Even-
I just didn't go to that part where
even
he's,
when he
how
closed
could
the
I think
door,
that?
AfterBuzz host Steve Bottomley with AfterBuzz host Ben Bengineer Bottomley.
even when he closed the door, in that whole scene, he doesn't just straight up tell Jesse that, yeah, I killed Mike. He kind of
He's
protects
gone.
him. He's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone. Yeah, he's.
Yeah, but
I'm not going to tell you what happened just
Yeah.
because I know you're
But
going to be
even
upset.
and even the way he
Right.
closed the door on him, he was like, "No, you're out." It was so much like
Yeah.
I've seen the bratty
Sure.
father who's so fed up with the kid, and it just was so like emotional. It wasn't without emotion. It wasn't the way Gus would be.
Mm-hmm.
Gus would be charming, and he'd be like, "Listen to this." It was because they're so enmeshed
Oh, clearly.
and they're so connected, and I love it.
Yeah.
What did you guys take from the cigarette burning through the couch? When
Well, I
Jesse-
think I took a
Jesse.
strong. I wasn't sure if we would back to dealing with Todd's family because it was all the same thing. The cigarettes were being smoked down that much, and then I don't know, just a foreshadowing, a slow burn, and I don't know, just burn his fingers, waking him up.
I just thought it was a nod to him going back to his self-destructive ways.
yeah, I just thought he's,
By the way,
he's a burnout again.
And Artie Lang
Yeah.
used to say on Howard Stern, there was nothing more pleasant than doing heroin and smoking a cigarette and just listening to Pink Floyd, and he'd just pass out with the cigarette. And by the way,
Yeah.
I know a lot of guys who went up in flames because they passed out with the cigarette. The junkies, that were
Yeah.
shooting up. So quite poignant.
All right, let's get to our final point. Last two scenes.
Those last two scenes. So, did you guys notice on the Walter wall? There's some stencils of look like a scorpion and things like that. I don't know if that was always there. His across from the pool, the yellow wall. Anyway, I
didn't
just
Yeah,
noticed
Didn't
I've
notice that.
I've seen that before.
You seen it
Oh,
before?
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
I did
remember
not
that.
see that. Okay, now speaking to how eerie it is, or what was, I don't know what you were saying, Ben, exactly when you were talking about seeing the bag and how scary it is to open the bag. I was freaking out with him walking Holly around. The
Yep.
Oh, we all were.
Saw the bugs skittering
terrified.
across, and then they're just talking. It's so banal what they're saying, and I'm just going, oh my God, they're
Dean-
talking about nothing.
Dean Norris, he said recently, there's a pretty eerie scene
Yeah.
involving
Yeah,
Holly, and I was
I
like,
said
oh
that
god,
And then
this is
I was
it.
just going, oh my God, what is it? Is she going to fall in the water? I mean, what's, oh my.
And a shout out to sound design because the conversations
yeah,
between the two were loud enough to be audible,
right.
but soft enough that we
Right.
were paying attention to other things.
Yeah.
And by the way, in two conversations at once.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by the way, just little key symbolic things that I picked up. To me, the prenatal vitamins.
right.
If you go a few scenes back, Hank is defeated.
Yeah.
give Holly back. The prenatal is like, I think we're about to come back. I think we're get the baby back, but we're coming back to life. And I think there's mention of like lemons, and that to me is all the yellow that's all over the place, and something about public demand.
Making Schrader brew.
Right, he's talking about making brew.
Again, for me, it's just
a parallel to making. Cooking,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, it was right there, the science, and also it was kind of something. It felt like he was talking about what he's going to do with his free time, or what he would do.
I thought that as well.
He's retiring, or
right?
finding some other thing to occupy.
They were
his
both
thoughts.
at the end,
yeah,
and maybe the prenatal, because perhaps Marie's thinking about getting pregnant. That's something very random to bring up. I mean, yeah, it does actually help your hair,
yes.
but why would you say
But
that?
I feel like their ship has sailed with kids, and we don't know why.
I don't know.
Yeah,
but
we never
that's
get
why.
into
But
that.
that's why he with Holly, he said, "You're staying with me," and we know Walt Jr. looks up to him more. It's this just slow battle between these two, and they're inching closer and closer and closer. But I found like. Even that last scene, to mention public demand too, which is we know there's such a public demand for the meth.
Yes.
What I mean?
Yeah, that was a great line from Hank. They said, "Well, who am I to argue with public demand?" And then they just get that nice little look or thing from Walt. It's like, it's almost like, see, just like the thing that pulled me right back in.
You know what the scene reminded me of? It reminded me of the last scene of The Sopranos. Do you remember when Meadow was parking?
Oh,
and
okay.
they kept cutting back to the parking, and different guys coming to the diner, and just they built and you were like, oh my god, like what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
And that to me with the baby going around, and this the way the sound design was, I'm like, oh no,
don't do
no,
it.
no,
Don't
who's gonna be blown up? Or
and it's because they trained us too. They trained us that it builds up, and we're gonna find it's gonna be horrible. Yeah, and then of course where do they in the last scene for something so. Oh, I don't know, monumental. They decided to have it in the bathroom.
In the bathroom.
Hey,
this isn't a catch of the week, but I want to throw it out right now. And again, I give Mike August the credit. Is he was saying how we're watching Walter, we know go from Heisenberg to Walter White, and his thing was that we're watching Hank go to ASAC Schrader. That's his alter ego.
Yeah.
And at the end of the second to last scene, it's Hank and Mr. White, Walter White, the chemistry teacher.
Yep.
Back to where we started the series.
Right.
They're just having, the nice cookout at
civilian
home,
conversation
at Walt and Skyler's house. Everybody's kind of like, hey, aren't we happy?
Talking about minutia.
Exactly, stuff that's not, relevant.
And he's going off into the sunset. Yeah. We feel like it's over for him. He's given up. He's given up on being a parent to Holly. He's giving up on his career.
It's almost like it reminded me of No Country.
No Country for Old Men.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's what it reminded me of.
Exactly. And I'm out. And then Walt took him out, and then in the bathroom.
In the bathroom.
Well, let's
and
look at
of course, we
reading.
saw the book earlier in the episode. I can't remember when we saw it. Was it part of a montage? We saw the
it was,
book.
No, it was him
when he was
showering.
getting out of the shower.
When he was getting out of the shower, yeah. So that was a nice placement again. But yeah, just the Walt women, and I remember, oh my God, the book, and I forgot. Did you remember, Ben, what was in the book?
I remember there was a note from Gale.
Okay, I was saying, and that's what I said. I go, oh my God, he's gonna see the note from Gale, and I thought I didn't realize, I forgot that it was just his initials, but the WW was the big thing anyway. So that was just a wonderful. I mean, come on, how many years ago was that book was? That's like 3 seasons ago.
Yeah, that was in season 3 that he got that.
Damn.
Death
so
has a way of echoing in Breaking Bad, and I really like that. With Gus's death echoing, and now Gale's death echoing.
Man, did anybody see that coming?
Oh no, I'm waiting for the edits, which in my opinion will make this scene 10 times better. When Hank is making that, oh my God, it's Walt face,
Yeah.
I'm waiting for someone to edit in the plopping noise.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, somebody will. But great little flashback too. Go ahead.
I knew obviously that he was gonna catch him. I didn't know how in that scene. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna
Right.
find something. I didn't know what he was gonna find.
Because why else would we follow him to the bathroom?
Yeah, I know.
God, but is it so typical of the super criminal always leaves does the dumb mistake really with that book?
Well, exactly because I guess he had explained it so well last time, explained it away so well. He figured it wasn't a problem. And again, I think it goes to the point where the professionals always make a mistake. And we heard Hank say that they always make mistakes, and we'll just have to be there when they do.
And it sucks. I mean, you guys think that he knows now.
Yeah.
Or
he knows.
Certainly.
Wait. Does he know, or and again, disagree or disagree? But does he know, or is he? Wait, there's more to this. Does he know he's Heisenberg?
I think when they showed that flashback,
Right.
Yeah.
that was pretty much saying
His
Hank
internal
knows it's
thoughts.
Walt.
And but it's one thing to know it, just like he knew it was Gus. There's another thing that he has to prove it. So that's where I think it's he may
Will
know
he
it.
pursue?
Yeah. What will he do with that information? And is he gonna now that? But I was this close to getting out. Now that I know this, can I let it go?
This is it's probably more of a predictions thing, but do you guys think that Walt will pull the card that it was my dirty money that paid all your bills when you were in the hospital?
Oh yeah,
You have to.
I think absolutely.
I don't know that conversation will happen. I don't know.
I think if there's a face-to-face
Yeah.
encounter, I
'Cause-
hope it'll either be verbal or along the lines.
All right. Well,
of, like,
all right. So let's get into our predictions. I guess.
Oh wait, can we do catches of the week?
Oh, okay. Absolutely. Let's do catches of the week.
So
Thank you
This
for
in from
reminding me.
our dear Mike August. I think I already said this before. When Todd tells Walt not to worry about the money until he gets good at making the meth, I feel there's subtext in there. Don't worry about the money now because I'm going to take it all. Walt said no one else gets hurt when talking to Jesse. Yet
Yeah.
he shot Mike out of rage at the end of the show. Shows he's lost
Again, when
control.
he's in chaos and not when he's in control of it.
Right. When Todd tells Walt not to worry about money until he gets good at making the meth, I feel there's subtext there of don't worry about it now. I'm going to take it all. Okay, good. I reread the same thing. Awesome. As for the boat symbolism, perhaps it represents the end of Mike's journey or that Walt is not on solid ground. I feel the two scenes of Walt, this is from Michael, I feel the two scenes of Walt putting on crocodile tears to Hank will turn to genuine tears in front of Hank at the end of the series as a contrast. Maybe a standoff between Hank and the DA at the end, with Walt making a grand speech that he just wanted to be somebody. Brought back to being human. Maybe Declan is a bargaining chip for Walt to give to the DEA too, as Declan is a bigger player with a larger network than Walt. I think Walt going down in a hail of bullets is below Gilligan's standards, and he won't have a sloppy ending like that. So,
All right. Thank you very much.
those are the catches of the week. So
Okay.
let's
do our predictions. Okay.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right. Well, I'll weigh in because it seems like now that Walt.
Can I just say?
No. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm going to say that these predictions are brought to you by SerialBuddies.com.
Oh.
If you don't know
look at
what
you.
that is,
Nice.
go there, and I think you'll like it.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
something more fun. It's
Very
a
cryptic,
contrast.
Phil. Very
temp site though.
cryptic.
Temp site.
Temp site right
Yeah.
now.
New site's
but
coming.
it's something that we won't have a chance to promote because this is the last show, and then there's a lot of good things happening before the premiere of Breaking Bad season 5.5, whatever the hell you want to call it. So in between now and then, check out SerialBuddies.com and keep revisiting because a lot of new things will be happening there. And
Yeah, good. Biggest catch of the week is remembering to plug that. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
actually our movie that John, myself, and Phil produced along with Maria. And we have some big news coming out on in probably the next few weeks.
Yes.
And we are building the site. The trailer will be out there soon. And yeah, please.
it's
Take a visit.
the first serial killer comedy
Yes.
of all time. So it's kind of on par with like
Buddy comedy film.
Buddy comedy.
Yeah, so-
First serial killer buddy comedy.
Yeah, there you go.
I watched it.
Yes, you did.
I
We saw
liked it.
early. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Ben. Okay.
Why wasn't
All
I
right.
at this screening?
You're going to be at the...
Yeah,
No,
yeah, the
that
other-
was early cuts.
Yeah,
He was in a test
He
screening.
was in a
We're
test
going to have
screening.
you at the real one.
Oh,
That's how
okay.
much
Yeah.
we think of you.
I'm feeling left out.
No.
All right.
All right,
I
moving
see
on.
how it is.
Yeah.
Well, back to predictions.
You were our test. You were a market
Guinea pig.
audience there. So yeah, here we go. So it seems like now that Walt is kind of leaning towards getting out. Well, he's obviously said he was getting out, but we know that that's going to be difficult. And we know the kids. I think what's going to happen is they're obviously going to get the kids in danger. They're going to force Walter to come back into it because those people who are making all those kinds of money off of him are going to
Never let you out.
no way.
Never let you
get
out.
back in here and
Well,
finish
he's
up.
making
He's making too much money for people.
and to go from 60% to
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
or he's gonna have to give up the formula.
Yeah, he's
Well,
gonna
I
give up
think
the
I think
formula.
Todd could potentially know the formula.
Well,
I think
he
Todd has no apathy for Walt.
Yeah,
I think
Todd's been doing
Todd
this for
can continue.
but in
been
order
doing it
to,
for 3 months now.
but in order to keep Walt hooked, they got to either get rid of Todd, or for some reason they got to make he has to do it, because they'll either they'll steal his kids, whatever they do, but they have to to put him in jeopardy. Put the kids in jeopardy to make
it's gonna
him.
sound crazy. I'm still not sure that Todd is gonna sell out Walt.
I don't know that he is. I don't even think he is. I think
No.
if he knew how to do the meth on his own, they wouldn't need Walt. But because Walt's going to be here for another,
But I
episodes.
think Todd's gonna be the new Walt, and obviously Walt is the Gus, and so Todd's got to take out Walt.
I don't
just
think
don't
so.
see him that smart.
But why is?
I think he's a hard worker who wants to be part of something.
So you
wants
think
to fit in.
this whole idea that Walt says I'm getting out is a misnomer. He's not.
I think he wants to get out, but now
It's to your point, John. You don't. No one lets you out. There's too much money being made. The purity of the product. Maybe if he gives them the formula, but we know that's like him giving up his patent.
Yeah.
I mean,
And would he do that to save his family? I don't know, but I think in order to keep him hooked, to keep us watching, he's going to have to be forced because he's doing this as a ploy. It's all a ruse to Skyler and everybody. I'm not really getting out. I'm just saying that to placate.
Interesting. Are you predicting that, John? You're saying
I'm
maybe.
I'm saying that's the only way we can have 8 more episodes out of this. He has to placate that, or placate her, I should say, and then pretend he's getting out and not get out.
We could easily have 8 episodes of Hank putting together the clues to get him.
Yeah.
But knowing that we end up at a Denny's with a full head of hair.
Yeah.
And
assault weapons.
And assault weapons.
That's why I think
we know.
That's why I think the kids are in jeopardy, and I don't or something. Because what else would get him to buy an assault weapon?
Right.
And decide to take somebody on.
Hank could get taken out, not killed, but
he
taken
out
down.
of the equation. Right.
And where now it is on Walt to protect the kids and everybody.
Yeah.
It's his last stand. It's like, and I think not going. I think the hail of bullets. What Mike August was saying.
Yeah.
It is a little bit too simple. To
I don't think
Scarface
it's going to be a hail.
But he puts down all those. Foreshadowing for Scarface.
And he's been saying it like crazy. Is he going to go against that?
I really want to see him come across like an old church and have him sit in a confessional booth right before he does that showdown. Like, how amazing would that be? There doesn't even have to be a priest there. Just him in a confessional booth.
Well, he said,
awesome.
You want absolution for him?
I just want him to sit. Yeah. Okay. But in the end, do you guys think he'll be facing the DEA, or do you think he'll be facing like Declan and that crew?
Or will he be facing the entire Czech Republic?
If it's Walt. Yeah. I still am thinking it's the ironic ending of like the way they ended the Godfather series, where
he's succeeded, but his soul is gone.
What did you gain? You have no friends, no family.
Well, he said
so he's going to be out in the woods.
He said that to Jesse.
We've already gone to hell.
Yeah. So just accept that fact. And
because it's so easy to say it gets cancer, dies, or it goes out in a hail of bullets. It's just easy, and I agree.
No, and
that
they
Vince
want to do
Gilligan's
that.
a better writer.
And they all want to do something much more interesting than that.
I think an ironic ending, where he'll win, but he'll really lose.
Okay, so that's what the ending will be. What do we think the next season will be about?
Is the ending, right? That's what I'm getting to. I think it's 8 episodes and we end it.
Just to that? Do you think Hank's going to go for it? Is my point. Hank now knows.
And I think they're going to work together.
Okay, so he's going to figure it out, and he's going to confront them, and then all this.
I think at some point they may have to join forces.
Wow. Okay, and will Jesse be part of that?
Of course.
Okay, so the 3, nice, interesting.
And maybe that goes back to the 3. Right?
Yeah,
we've 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, right?
Hank looks like Mike.
Anybody want a perfect combination? Anybody have a different idea of that?
I don't think Hank can be corrupted.
Oh, I don't think it's about corruption. I think it's more about like everyone's lives are on the line
survival,
and they have to. It's survival.
Okay. So
I hope it looks like.
Is that what Ben? Do you think it's just a showdown between?
Do you think it's a showdown, and between whom?
I don't know. I mean, I think if there would be a showdown between Walt and Hank, that would be obvious, but pretty impressive.
I think it'll be Lydia versus Hank, or not Hank. I'm sorry, Walt.
Lydia's not a good enough.
I just think she's another
match.
Gus. It's another like we're gonna.
Yeah.
But by the way, Lydia's bosses that came in.
Yeah, that's right.
You guys,
They're amazing.
they're gonna come around. The
Yeah.
Germans
Yeah.
that were so callous with
Yeah.
their manager.
Do you think
Remember who they are.
Yeah.
perhaps Walt goes out by himself with all these guns and then everybody comes behind Walt, like Jesse and Hank will come and back him up in the end?
This isn't
Maybe.
the Expendables.
You know,
Or maybe did
he
he
came out of nowhere to. Walt came out of nowhere to save Jesse. So you,
Yeah.
you never know. I don't know. I mean, I think it's such a great show that we don't know.
And you just said this great, which is they are so enmeshed that at some point, even as dysfunctional as their relationship is, I think those guys are tied together.
Right.
When
Walt
he
and
ever
Jesse.
said thanks, Jesse, to Walt Jr.
Yeah.
You know, when he was on
Yeah.
Vicodins,
Yeah.
to me, it's like that's his son.
Yeah.
That's the
Right.
son that, you know, he should have had in his Lydia the wife. I don't know. I still go back to that, but
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else want to second that? Will we see a romance?
I just
For
think
Walt and
think
Lydia.
you have to because you've had.
I think you
we've
do.
seen everything else.
I think
with
that would be
Walt.
interesting.
And if you guys don't think sex is a big part of as big a part of power as money is, then you haven't worked in Hollywood.
Yeah.
You know, but even in Wall Street too, it's part of that thing that drives the alpha male and the testosterone and the fact that we haven't gone there.
Yeah.
It's definitely an area that I can see.
That
Or
they
at
would
least
they
they
would
should.
quote explore unquote
Yeah.
end quote. Excuse me.
He's
Yeah.
just so busy.
Well, I think that's why they haven't explored it. Is that
Right.
they tried to he
The last time we saw him really, him and Skyler went at it that one time.
Yeah.
They like passion. But the last time I recall seeing like a genuine exchange with a female
Yeah.
was the flashback to when he got screwed out of his
yeah.
when he was in his college days.
Yeah.
And he's so excited talking chemistry with it looked like his girlfriend at the time, and
Was
it
it
looks
Gretchen?
like
it was
Gretchen.
yes,
Gretchen.
and obviously the love triangle. I feel like a love triangle
Right.
formed, and that's how he got pushed out.
Uh-huh.
Once
Yeah.
again, it's the three thing, right? That just keeps coming back, and I just could see like the way Lydia like is thinking, like he is, and you know, I don't know. I could
Yeah.
see them having a connection.
Hey, and
That's what that last look was to me was about.
If he
having
does
sex
it
with
though,
crazy is
yeah.
it's fun.
If
It's a lot of fun.
if he does do it, I think it's just going to be like a means to an end kind of thing. It's not because he actually likes her or has feelings for her or anything like that. I think it's just going to be because
Well, I don't think he's going to be a
a
male
desire-
gigolo and just he's not going to sleep with her to get ahead. He's
not
Heisenberg.
to get ahead.
But I think to again filling that void, his ego. I
I-
think we're going to see it.
I meant a means to an end of a desire, just a desire to do it.
Right.
If she's there and he wants to, yeah, I see it happening, but I don't see him actually liking
Well, he's
her
not
in
going to
any
listen. No.
kind of
He
way.
already said he's on the road to hell. The only I
Right.
think connection other than his kids is to Jesse.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't say he's going to fall in love with her and it's Camelot. No, I'm just saying I think that we're going to see something.
Well, I don't
Between
think I
some
don't think
spark.
we're going to see Walt and Skyler get back together.
No.
So, and if that's not going to happen, I think he's going to seek
Yeah.
something else.
I
out.
mean, well, we're just going to see her rabble and out of control, though. I mean, because one of the kids are going, at least. Either the baby
Oh,
all right.
or Walt Jr.
Uh-oh. That's our wrap-up music.
wow.
All right, so as we leave, let everybody know where they can
You heard it
find
here first.
What?
I'm saying Breaking Bad, people. You heard it here first. Because
Okay,
go
all
listen
right,
to your
all
other
right.
podcasts.
All right, hey,
we don't want to
we
get in trouble
we
with
don't get in
the.
trouble. We don't need that.
I
We
forget
don't
what
need
it
that.
was. Katie
Please.
767
Please,
or
Katie,
something.
we
I don't know.
apologize. They're
I'm just
all
saying.
wonderful
We started the
podcasts.
conversation first.
That's
Yeah,
right. We started it.
yeah.
But they can finish it.
Hey guys, Kristen Elizabeth Snyder. You can find me at Cinematic Escape on Twitter, or Cinematic Escape is my blog. You can bang that. And also, I'm going to be doing Dexter and Revolution next.
Ooh, very
Okay.
exciting.
What about you?
Yes.
What about you?
Oh, you
Phil.
can find me on another podcast. I'll be doing Revenge. That's my favorite show
Right
during
on.
the.
And at Phil
off-
Svitek and
Phil
at
Svitek.
AFTERBUZZ.
Just
Absolutely.
find me at on Revenge.
Okay,
Go
find
listen
my
to that.
revenge. Exactly. what about you?
Well,
Ghost.
I think go to Seriebuddies.com.
There you
Keep
go.
checking in on that. And we are really excited. I know a lot of you Breaking Bad fans are also fans of Boardwalk Empire. We are also excited, as I say, if this is heroin, that's our subtext. That's
Okay.
very close. It's just
Interesting.
Mad Men, Breaking Bad, and Boardwalk
That's
for
our
me
meth.
are the
And
trifecta.
Engineer, you're too young for anybody to find you, right?
I still go by carrier pigeon.
Okay, good.
Nice.
I go by Smoking Eagle.
It's illegal
Find me
to
on
use.
serialbuddies.com because you'll see us there.
There's a bio.
Did you write a bio?
Of course
for
I
me?
did.
Awesome.
You got a bio.
Nice. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. It's been a pleasure to be here for you for Season 5, Breaking Bad. On behalf of Kristen Snyder, Phil Svitek, Ben Bottomley, and Keven Undergaro, this is John Comerford saying goodbye.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
It's like Skyler.
See you
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.